Okay, so I could do this different ways. I'm going to get up there again and just measure off the back to the edge of the wood where the wood's here. Okay, I'm going to do that first, and that looks like 19 3/4 from the wall to the edge of that, and the 2x4's that way. 19 3/4. Okay, this is just a preliminary thing. Okay, so now I can go down on the floor, can I? Because I want to get it kind of centered of the bed. Let's say I'm looking at this room. The bed's pretty much centered in the room. I don't necessarily have to have the ceiling fan exactly centered. I want to see where the where the ceiling joists are. Okay, and so that's why I'm doing this first, and I'm just going to do it on the floor. Okay, 19 3/4. Now the baseboard is about a 1/2 inch. That's 19 1/4. Right from here, and I can just hold my pen. 19 1/4. From there over 3 1/2 or so. That's where my first joist is. Up there, right? Okay, so now, and I believe those are 16 inch on center. So if I take the middle of that 3 1/2 inch area, okay, center to center to center to center, and I'll get up there and double check it in a bit. Okay, so I'm going to pull that in the center of that 2x4, right? And so now I'm gonna take a few other things. I'm gonna make myself some marks here. I'm not gonna mark on the floor or anything, but I can take different things. I can take my hacksaw blade. A 16, 32, 48. 64 is probably about the center. Okay. And the center of another one is at 48. The center of another one is going to be at 80. And that's like the center. Okay? And so I know from there I have to go over it 3 1/2 inches. 1 1/2, 1 3/4. If I go over 1 3/4, that should be the edge. Or this over here will be the edge, okay? And so I'll have to play with that. And so I'm first gonna look at that, okay? Does that make sense so far? You with me? I went 19 1/4 off of there to the pin, and then there's a flat 2x4, flat from 19 1/4 over that way, right? Up that way, and then every 16 inches, I'm on a tape measure, 16, every 16 inches you'll see a red. 16, 32, 48, 64, 80, 96. That's what those red marks are for. That's every 16 inches. And I know that's where the center, because I moved the tape measure over to the center. Okay, that's just giving me an idea so far. All right, are you thinking what I'm thinking? I'm gonna take you off the tripod again, just to make it a little bit easier for me. Okay. You see where the 64 is? That's about almost the center of the bed. The center of the bed is about 60 inches, let's say. Okay, and isn't that something? If I'm at 64 to the center, then if I go over an inch and 3/4 both ways, an inch and 3/4, this is the edge. That's the edge, and this will be the edge over here. I'm just eyeballing it for right now. You see? Okay. Now I'm going to take my my pancake box, and where the knockout is, I'm going to hold the knockout beyond that edge, about that far, so that I can get the wire up through there, right? I can't put it like that because then I'm going to hit wood up there. But I can put it like that, can I? The wire will go there, and in a sense, the center, and then so see from here over on this pancake box, that's all going to be on wood up there, and now I'm going to screw that part up to the wood. This is going to hang off the edge so that I can get the wire through there, and that's fine on that edge because that edge is closer over to there. Now if it was on the other side, and then that's almost, look at that, that's almost centered on the bed. I mean, if anything, it could go over a little bit further, but because we've got a bay window here, I don't have to move it over any further. I don't want to move this pancake box, you know, halfway, so I only get 2 screws in there. I mean, I could, because the weight of the ceiling fan is going to be here. It's not going to be like that if I put the box that direction, not that direction. Do you see what I mean? Because those would be the mounting brackets for the ceiling fan housing that goes up there. Okay, and this is going out where I want it anyways, and that is, man, that's just about right. And if it was off to the other side, I could have still done it. If that was the center of the bed, I would have slid it over like that. That part would be on the wood. See, that part would be over, and then as I came up, I would have to jump up 1.5 inches and then fish the wire from there over there. But as it is, I'm like that. I don't have to jump it over the wood or anything, do I? I've got a straight shot from there on over to there, and I'm actually going to have the ceiling fan. I'm going to probably put the ceiling fan about where the end of the bed is, okay? So in a sense, this box is going to be, oh, probably about like that. I could live with that, like that. You see what I mean? Does that make sense? I hope it does. And then I've got a straight shot for there over to there. If you can imagine that on the ceiling, that's not that far of wire that I have to fish over there. I should be able to do that. You know, I might hit the gusset a little bit. I might hit a little bit of insulation. I'm going to have to kind of push the insulation around. I'm not going to be able to do that much over here because I'm only going to have a little hole like that, just hardly anything, to where I can get my fish tape in there. That's why I have to go from here that way. And as I get it up there, maybe I only get it up to about there, and then I don't know where it's going. It might be going that way or this way. And I can reach my arm up there, and lucky that the joist is from there that way. And so I could reach my hand up there, kind of like how I was doing before. Maybe I can take a wire with a hook on it if I have to. You see, I can if I'm up there. See, my hand, I can reach my hand about to there, okay? So I can reach it all the way over here to all the way over there. And I can reach straight up. And see, I'm hitting insulation, so I know what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to, I'm going to fish the wire up over the insulation. So I'm going to have to kind of pull the insulation down, get my hand in there, rearrange the insulation so it's down tight to the ceiling, so I can get my hand way up high, and then I'll pull the wire down here, and after I get my box ready, then I can push everything up in there, and then push it back up in there, screw it in there. And I'll have 3 sets of wires coming out here, and I'll have the 1 wire coming out down there. So I've got, okay, so now what I have to do is I've got to prep the little box that I just took down, and now I have to transfer these marks, and I'm only here by myself. So see, can I pull it off of that wall by myself and reach over here and mark it? Probably. I'll probably be able to, you know. I'm gonna leave that stuff right there for a second. Now I can measure off the wall, like 80 inches, and that's about the center of the box. So see, if I do that, then I can poke a little hole up there, knowing I can move the hole over, and 3/4 of this box is going to cover up that hole, and then start cutting the drywall out, and then figuring out exactly where I'm going to make the drywall cut out, so I can fish the wire up there. And then once I have that figured out, then I can hold the whole pancake box up there and draw a mark around it with my pencil, and then I can carefully cut that out with my sheetrock saw. And I'm only cutting a 1/2 inch because my sheetrock saw is going to go up there and hit the wood. You see what I mean? Or you can mark it with your drywall knife. I'm going to do it with the sheetrock saw. Just go a little bit, and get it out there, and then clean it up with my drywall knife. I don't like using my drywall knife and trying to cut the circle, and then if you miss, now all of a sudden, oops, and you got a big old gouge well beyond what you're trying to cut out. Now you got a mark on your ceiling forevermore. And yeah, you could caulk it, and then you can paint it and touch it up if you have the paint and all that kind of stuff. But I'm trying to do this without doing any of that. You see what I mean? So once I transfer the mark up to the ceiling, then I'm gonna start knocking on the ceiling a little bit to see if I can hear the difference. And I should be able to, if they should have the drywall screwed up there to the floor joist. Does that make sense? And I'm going to knock on that in a minute and figure that out. All right, coming up. So I'm going to get up there and kind of knock on the ceiling. If you don't have a stud finder, I don't really want to get my stud finder out if I don't have to. Here, that feels hollow. Higher pitch, and I can tell it's more solid right there. And so every 16 inches, I'm pretty sure it's 16 inch, and I checked it with my tape measure before, so center to center, 16 should be about there. See? Then it goes hollow, then solid, and then the next one should be over in here. Hollow, solid, hollow, solid, hollow. Okay, so once I transfer my marks from the floor up to the ceiling, I can poke around up there and make a determination of where I want to go, and I should be fine. You see what I mean? Then I can poke a nail up there. And when I poke a nail, let's get you down here on the floor here. When I poke a nail, I don't want to go any further than the center of that, over that way, because the box is only going over so far, okay? It's only going over about that far. So I don't want to go any further than about 2.5 inches. So when I should be able to find out about close to where the center is. and maybe this way just a little bit. Then I can put a mark up there, put a nail there, you know, up here where this is at. Does that, okay, right in there. And I'll put a nail there, and then I'll probe and find the outside edge of that. Once I know that, then I can cut a little bit of a hole there, and then hold my pancake box up there and figure out exactly where I think that needs to be before I put a circle around there and cut it out. And wherever that nail prodding is should be between that and that, you see? And I'll be covering that up. I'll be cutting that out, actually. So before I go any further, I'm just going to kind of leave this alone, just as a reminder for me. And I've got another one of these pancake boxes. Let's open up a pancake box, take a look, and see how I'm going to set that up.